is going on to you, Virgo? So you have the Queen of Pentacles, Chariot, the Wheel of Fortune, the Fool, the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Swords, Eight of Cups, the Five of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Wheel of Fortune. I'm just seeing how a lot of you Virgos right around now, you may just have some people in your life that you are about to actually stop hanging out with, just who are just giving you a difficult time. The Chariot is about a need to win a victory. The Chariot is about winning a victory, parking, right? Or staying stable, being stubborn. But also the Chariot can represent kind of specifically running down on your own friends. And what I mean when I say running down on your own friends, I mean like getting into conflicts with the people who are closest to you, friends, family, romantic, you know what I mean, interests, stuff like that. So as a result, this is a situation for you Virgos where you just have people around you right now that you stop talking to, and just overall you excommunicated from their life, who is just slick with their words. And they're parasitic. Whenever it is that they come by, they're just trying to get something out of you, right? These people don't care about actually getting to know you long term. None of that type of stuff. You're just in a particular situation where you don't want to communicate with them. Every time, you know, everything with them just has to be a hassle. You know what I mean? And the stuff, what they bring to the table or what benefit they are to you is not worth the trouble that they're bringing. It outweighs the benefit. So the Wheel of Fortune represents, again, taking power into your own hands. Whenever it is, see, the Chariot and the Wheel of Fortune, they're both are Cancer crabs. They're both Cancer zodiac sign cards. But the thing about it is that the Chariot is Mars in Cancer. So it represents, or that conjunction. So it represents that energy where it's like combative energy, right? As you can see, the people on the card, right? Combative energy, right? Getting into it with your friends, getting into it with the people who are your loved ones, your family, your romantic relations, those types of people specifically. And the thing about it is that, like I said, the Wheel of Fortune represents you Virgos just not being a part of that anymore. You don't want to be a part of that. There's no reason for you to be a part of that. So the thing about it is that a lot of you happen to be in a particular situation where you are you're leaving those people alone. You're like, okay, you washed your hands of them. And that's essentially what it is that you're doing. You know, the Fool and the Ace of Swords represents, you know, as a result, the Fool and the Ace of Swords is now about the actual fruition of you not hanging out with them anymore. So this is you literally dipping out from that situation and excommunicating them. And you've made a conscious decision like, okay, I'm not talking to these people. I'm not hanging out with them. Because again, every time they talk to you, every time they hang out with you, it just seems like they're always up to something, you know, because the Queen of Pentacles, the person that represents the Queen of Pentacles on this card from the show was very, they ran a lot of games. They ran a lot of games. And I think it was the House of the Flowers, something like that. But they were rich too, and they played a lot of games. And it's very ironic because this person is playing a lot of games, or they used to play a lot of games with you up until you Virgos put an end to that type of stuff. So the Fool now represents this being a situation for you where the Fool is about how it is that you Virgos you didn't want anything to do with that, and you left them alone. Right? You're free from the games and the nonsense and the stuff like this that people try to put up. So again, the Ace of Swords, what does this mean? This means that a lot of you Virgos now happen to be in a situation where you don't care about that type of stuff. What you Virgos got going on is that you Virgos understand what time it is. That it's time to cut them loose, to see, since they keep acting like nothing phases them, and they're always let them try to run that type of a game with other people and see how far they go. Let's see where it is that they go with this, trying to get one over on other people. Let's see what happens to them, right? Because sometimes when people should not be trying to exploit people, period. People shouldn't be doing that. You should not be trying to exploit the person, especially exploit a person's kindness. That's a no-no. From the minute that you start doing that, and I'm saying no matter who it is, from the minute you start really exploiting people's kindness, you're on a clock before people stop taking that exploitation lying down, and you have a full-blown mutiny, and people are not taking that anymore. So now you have the Eight of Swords, right? So the Eight of Swords is your guardedness with them. And the Eight of Cups and the Five of Cups, here they are, wishing that, they wouldn't have tried to run that game with y'all, but you are not in their life. The Eight of Swords. Remember, the 8 cards are usually cards of realization. And the Eight of Cups, which is this person. So they've been left without your support, your attention, your love, your care, right? Because you realize that trying to get to know them was not the best. Staying in their life was not the best decision. It will not be the best decision if you stay in their life. They're only going to bring turmoil and dysfunction and nonsense, messed up mentality to you. That's all it is that they're going to bring. They're going to bring issues to you. And a lot of you know that. So see, here's the problem. They thought that you Virgos wouldn't really leave them alone until you actually left them alone. Now they see. Now they understand. Oh, okay, Five of Cups, they messed up. They shouldn't have been doing all that nonsense that they were trying to pull the whole time. They should have just allowed you to do your thing, or they should have contributed in return, right? Because every relationship has to be reciprocal, If a relationship is if one person is benefiting way more than the other person, then obviously, it's a parasitic relationship. And a lot of you Virgos, that's the thing with Virgo. If you're not really vigilant, if you're not paying attention to that, Virgos will have a propensity, or you will get into a lot of parasitic exploitative relationships due to the fact that how people can't seem to stop trying to run game on you. And those are people who are usually trying to tell you that they love you and all this other type of mess. But this is why it is that a lot of you Virgos need to take your time and really get to know them, right? Spend some time, right? And that ultimately, like I said before, there's no need, right? Wheel of Fortune, there's no need to run a game. There's no need to be combative. All it is that you need is time. Just time. Just time. And when time passes by, you'll know what time it is, because the person will reveal themselves as not being very loyal. When enough time passes, people will leave your life who are not loyal to you in the first place. So there's no need for you to test somebody to see if they really have your back or not. There's really no need. And the Eight of Swords represents, they know that if they try to do what? If they try to come to you, they know that all it is that you're going to meet them with is skepticism, because you don't rock with them. You don't rock with them. You respect them in the sense of, decency, just regular decency. But that is where it caps off. And these people look for that type of stuff because this is the type of stuff that they deserve ultimately. So the Nine of Wands now and the Knight of Swords, the Nine of Wands and the Knight of Swords represents how a lot of you Virgos as well. The Nine of Wands represents them, again, they really wishing, the Five of Cups, Nine of Wands, this is them knowing that they could have potentially missed a huge opportunity or a very big opportunity. Obviously, it's you know, the two of you may have never gotten together like that, but they know that they messed up is the point that I'm trying to make. And that the two of you could have actually been something real, but they're so caught up with their own dysfunction, it couldn't go. It wouldn't happen. Because that's the dysfunctionality that they had. That's the dysfunctionality that they had, right? Like they couldn't just deal with, they couldn't just be themselves, right? They had to inflate their ego, therefore inflating their personality. And what happens when you inflate something? That's not necessarily the real size. You have to essentially blow it up. So their ego being inflated, right? So because they feeling like they're deluding themselves and thinking that they have to act like this in order to get people to like them and that this will work. Otherwise, people will essentially try to like disrespect them. But it didn't work with you. All of that ego wasn't working with you. The Knight of Swords represents now. So now they wish that they could take it back. But even though they wish that they could take it back, they're not going to actually come back and tell you that they're sorry. But they still wish that they could take it back, though. Because when's the last time you Virgos ever heard somebody actually reach out to you and apologize and say that they're sorry, right? So let's clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the Fool. The Hermit, the Queen of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. So to clarify the Fool, we have the Hermit. And the Hermit really represents how a lot of you, well, this is for Virgo. And the Hermit is a Virgo card anyway. So this is about you spending time away from them, and more so specifically by yourselves. Or I should say more accurately by yourselves. Just kind of dipping right out of there like, nah, you ain't even, you Virgos, and you showed up in your own reading. So you Virgos ain't even, you completely ghosting them. You're like, nah, you got right out of there. Nah. The Queen of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, right? Because you understand that you don't have to put up with that. And you're right. You don't. You never did. You know, Virgos, y'all really only made that assumption that you should have done that, right? That was your priority, to accept people's disrespect as a common place or something that was supposed to have happened in a relationship. Because the Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, because do you Virgos treat yourselves with that disrespect? Absolutely not. But they wanted to show you this kind of disrespect, and you Virgos wasn't having it. So these two cards is about you Virgos showing your self-respect, even in the face of them, even when they're trying to show you disrespect. Page of Cups, here they come. They're making up an excuse as to why it is that you left. Because you were no good, you were super disrespectful, you were all of this, that, and the third. And you Virgos wasn't having it. You didn't care. You don't have to talk to them anymore. So a lot of you Virgos don't care what excuse that they come up with. While they're over here by themselves, wherever they are, They're not talking to you. You're not in their life. You excommunicated them. Them thinking about why it is that you did it, and how it is that you Virgos are no good because you left their life and you played them. Really? Is that really what happened? Let's clarify the Knight of Swords now. Let's clarify the Knight of Swords. So to clarify, we have the Empress, the Judgment, Queen of Wands, the Four of Wands. Right. The Empress, the Judgment, the Eight of Wands, and the Four of Wands. This is about how, again, they're thinking about how beautiful you are and how amazing the relationship could have been. But the Judgment represents how they want you to wake up and realize that, the two of you could have been better if the two of you would have been in a relationship. So it would have been better if the two of you were in a relationship. But the Eight of Wands and the Four of Wands represents they're ignoring something. And what they're ignoring is the fact that you Virgos tried to deal with them. You tried to interact with them. So the Eight of Wands represents they're wishing that, they want to at least have one last opportunity to talk to you again, even though you Virgos aren't saying anything to them. The Four of Wands, because like I said, they want to have a second chance at building, creating that relationship with you. But again, I mean, what it is that I can say, this is what happens when people want to play stupid games. They win stupid prizes. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to make my YouTube channel grow to 10,000 subscribers. Right now, we have 72. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set that notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos.